Yes, hello everyone. Welcome back to the See the Stories, the signature segment of our three-hour news show. Now, today we are going to be talking about a certain hobby. But before we go there, I'm just a little curious now. We talked about it a little bit, Hans, in the beginning of the show, about a little certain something of a hobby. Now, do you still have the kind of hobby where you collect things? Like right now, we are going to talk about diecast. Do you have something? Did you have something like that when you're growing up?
Well, I told you in the previous hour, I did collect Tamiya back in the days. I have some Hot Wheels, but apparently my mom gave it away to my cousins. But if you ask me about my hobby that I started from childhood, eating. But not really like collecting things, because these days I feel like I don't want to hoard anything in my room or my house. Even my clothes, I have like limited clothes at the moment.
Ah, very wise.
I just want to, declutter everything in my closet. How about you?
At one point, when I was growing up, you know those Dragon Ball cards? Basketball cards, right? All cards possible.
Okay, that being said, I have Pokemon and Digimon cards.
No, I didn't get through that one though. But of course.
Guilty is charged.
But I did play some Tamiyas, and then just recently I got also came across some Hot Wheels because of I have a young son.
Oh yeah, that's right, that's right.
All right, now speaking about hobbies, today's talk show is about diecast. Now let's explore what's in store for diecast cars in 2025 with diecast enthusiast, who is also a pediatrician, Dr. Dion Darius. Hey Doc, good evening. Welcome to our studio.
It's good that now we have a doctor in the studio, but not talking about health any other way.
Yes, not talking about that yet.
But Doc, when we're talking about diecast, could you share with us when and how you became interested in diecast models, and what prompted you to do so?
Okay, so I think it was really interesting, this diecast model, because at first, this was started as a hobby during the pandemic era, because you can't really go anywhere. So most of the stuff gets shipped to your house. And then so you kind of want to make yourself active, like you want to do something at home. So what better things to do than buying stuff, right? Because doctor.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, especially during pandemic, I think a lot of the doctors usually move around so much because they're like the needed ones, especially because the young ones. Because the more senior doctors, sometimes they just stay at home because COVID is a very contagious disease and a lot of disease burden and stuff. So usually we, the young ones, then we get all the patients, we get the most patients. So that's, and I tried to find the time to find a new hobby. And I think diecast is one of the interesting and like the most fun hobby.
But again, that's actually a very good story. But I still want to go a little bit into that. How though? How did you come across?
Why diecast?
Yeah, why this?
Why not anything else? Let's say a Pokemon card.
Okay. So, how to put this here? Because I'm a pediatrician, so pediatrician is like a kid doctor. So I want to find something that relatable to children, and what's more than toys, right?
True.
Yeah. So toys is everyone knows Hot Wheels. Like all the kids love Hot Wheels, and I want to brand myself like a doctor who loves diecast.
I see.
That's my personal brand. Yeah. And then somewhere in between it gets confusing. Like people think like doctors usually are not the type who collects this kind of things and do this kind of like publications or doing some reels on Instagram about cars. Usually it's not doctors.
No.
That's what they think,
exactly.
right? Usually it's, I don't know, man.
Some car reviewer, maybe Fitra Eri.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. So that's why maybe it's a new kind of thing. Maybe we call it diecast influencer. Maybe maybe something like that.
Yeah, see, this is interesting. That's because I was actually wondering, with this background, that actually kind of prompted you into doing something like this, because your interaction with kids, and then you feel like, oh, if I do this, then I'm probably going to connect more with them.
Yes.
But maybe because
and the dads and the parents as well.
The parents
and the
as well.
parents, yeah,
Yes,
the dads, sometimes the moms, yeah.
they're also talking about Hot Wheels with you.
Yes, you look at that car right there, the pink color.
Yeah,
even
yes.
the girls love it. The girls love it because the color is pink. So sometimes the mom like, I want that one. It
Oh
looks
my
cute in pink.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember the movie Tokyo Drift?
Tokyo Drift.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with that particular color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Doc, diecast collecting has a dedicated community worldwide, not only
Yes.
nationwide but worldwide.
Yes.
What's the most rewarding part of being involved in this community? I assume that you belong to a certain community, right?
Yeah. Yep. So usually we have community, the local community, and also the overseas community. And the local community is very easy to find. You know, you can go to Facebook, you can find the people, and then you can join.
Yeah.
Or you can have like we have a lot of diecast shops around in the traditional market or even in the big shopping malls.
Yes.
Sometimes we have diecast shop. And now I think this diecast is even in car conventions. Like if you go to the Gaikindo Auto Expo or
Right.
the national car exhibition.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have diecast booth as well.
Really?
Yeah, so that's how they brand themselves. You can find these communities everywhere, and you can actually buy this diecast everywhere.
Does it give you any leverage on, I don't know, when you wanted to find some knowledge about the diecast, maybe how to actually take care of it?
Yeah.
Or when you want to sell, we're not getting into the talk of selling it, right? Because it's quite perspective.
It's exactly.
It is quite perspective, like selling it,
Yeah.
or probably you know having some swap. Because usually some
Yeah,
communities
exactly.
with the collections like me, like Pokemon cards, I
Exactly,
usually
like the
swap.
cards back in the days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I think most of the the one that produce the diecast, what they want is actually sell. And for us, the buyer, the hobbies, before we buy something, I think we have to sell something. And if you're talking about the community, I think it happens not just locally, but even overseas. They have this meet like swap and diecast swap and then diecast selling and everything. So because I go to Instagram and post all of these videos and it became popular. So even people in overseas reach me to ask for my diecast. Yeah, because it's a custom one, so it's
Yes.
kind of different because they think it's normal Hot Wheels diecast, but it's a
Right.
little bit different. Why? Because it's custom. Yeah, because my point is everywhere in local or in overseas community, I think we all see these people who trade and also sell, and eventually they
Yes,
buy new
yes.
ones as well. Yeah.
Oh, very interesting. Okay, Doc, you were saying, I mean, not you were saying, but now I'm seeing here in front of me, in front of us, there's cars,
Yes.
right? But I know that diecast is not just cars. There's
Yes.
planes and there's
Yes.
motorcycles too.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit of your collection? Maybe you have other diecast models, and maybe that also the reason why you only brought cars today here to the studio.
Would you mind if I touch it?
Yep. Sure.
Don't-
You can touch it.
Stop it!
He
I
knows,
hate you.
He knows the most expensive one.
There you go.
The most
He's got a
I know.
knife for it. Yes.
Yes, an expensive one to another expensive thing.
Okay, so diecast basically means something that cast made of metal. So there are ships, planes, cars, even figures. Those small figures, like
Yeah.
2 or 3 centimeters long, sometimes it's made of metals. Yeah, but I think cars is the most popular. You know, I collect Gundam as well. I have a Gundam
Oh,
page
so
dedicated
cool.
for Gundam, and it's a custom Gundam too.
No
I have it
way.
too.
So cool.
But it hasn't been developed so well unless the diecast one, because I think
Right.
Gundam is very segmented market.
True.
Yes.
Mostly like guys who's like a geek and who loves Gundam so much.
Yes.
But for diecast, even girls, they like diecast. Even
Right,
girls.
right,
Yeah,
right.
teenagers, girls, boys mostly, teenagers,
Right.
dads. yeah. We love cars too, because we know that taking care of real car can be really tasking and very expensive, right?
Right.
And you just want to see one at home, and then if you look at this, for example,
that's very cool.
Yeah, you want to see it in like a parking lot, and then you want to see trees, you want to see buildings, you want to see the cool cars.
Yeah.
It's all in here.
Yeah.
And then you can add like small figures here too to make it even
Yes,
better.
yes.
And these are not cheap actually. Yeah.
So basically, this is actually the fun part of collecting die-casts,
Yes.
and also small things, because not only that you get to put them on the shelves and stuff like that, but also you would want to make a some kind of mini parking lot,
Yeah, that
or
is really cool.
or mini castle with things and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But you were saying, I know the most expensive one. Yeah, I know. But when it comes to value of the die-cast, what do you consider to be the rarest or the most valuable piece in your die-cast collection right now? Because is there any memorable story behind it, or how you got your hands on it?
Okay, so actually it's really interesting because we know some die-casts actually cost a lot, and I think there's this overseas show about like auction or auction. Sometimes they auction Hot Wheels and the price can go like really high.
How high?
Something like $150,000. Yeah, so it's really expensive. So some diecasts can go that because it has historical values.
Oh, true.
For example,
Yeah,
because
true,
it has historical values. Now those are mostly in like Caucasian country like America, maybe something in Europe. Well, me mostly I collect customs from Indonesia. So some of these custom cars that you see in your background is made from Indonesian builders, or we call it diecast customizers.
Wait, we do have our own
have
builders.
Yes, we have our own builders a lot. Yeah, yeah. It's like a creative community of people, and they built this custom diecast. So from the original color, they strip the paint, and then they paint a new color. And sometimes they add like body kit, they change the wheels, or they added details to the interior. Yep. So many things can be done. Like
Okay. Any of these, actually, any of those die-casts that you're talking about here?
yeah, yep. So maybe I just want to show you one. Like
Okay.
before you ask about the most expensive. So if you remember, I came here like 2 years ago to see News
Right.
Today. I bought that one. I think that was the most expensive at that time.
Okay.
And I think the most expensive now is this green one. This green
Okay.
one. If you watch the Fast and Furious movie, these are
Yes, of
actually
course.
the Mitsubishi Evolution 6. Now
All right.
these are custom made. So custom made. I know custom made are not perfect,
Yes.
but people love custom because there's only one in this world.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
if you look at some of the diecasts I brought, most of them are not custom made. They're actually factory made, but these are the custom made. So what's special is that you can actually open the door. You can open everything. Like
All
see,
right.
you can open the door
I'm
like this.
so reluctant
Yeah,
to
me too.
actually touch
I
it.
just want to look at it.
I know,
nice.
you can see the detail.
The
That's
detail
I'm
is
not
there.
sure if the
Oh.
camera can seize it, but you
Yeah,
can see
yeah,
the
yeah.
engine, and
see it.
you see this hydraulic
Yeah.
hydraulic thingy
Yeah.
to hold the hood.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and then you can even open the trunk like this.
Oh my lord.
So that's why.
Okay.
And if you look at it even closer, you can see it's carbon.
Carbon, yes.
Carbon pattern.
Yes,
over
yes,
here.
yes.
And not to
Very
mention
common to see.
the interior they built it so much detail.
Uh-huh.
So the real one doesn't look like this. Unfortunately, I don't had a chance to bring the original one, but the original one doesn't look anything like this. So this is the fully customized one.
Oh my
Yep,
goodness, so cool.
really interesting. And
The hydraulic things are actually there.
yeah, there,
It's
and it's
showcased.
it's functions like you can see it close,
Yeah, yeah,
opens
yeah.
and close, and that kind
Yeah.
of thing. Yeah, so it's really interesting. Yep. It's
Dude,
ma-
you can even see the steering wheel.
You can. You're right.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
bars inside the car.
Yeah,
this
the
is
bars.
a rally car, right?
So how much does it cost?
That one is around $350 US.
I'm giving it back to you.
Put it back.
I'm putting it back.
Put it back. That's
know,
very
I know.
cool.
I
And the
know, it's-
detail
it's really cool.
is impeccable, man.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
hey, Doctor, what do you think that makes a diecast models
Yeah.
stand out? You know, in terms of craftsmanship and value.
Okay, so maybe I just want to talk about there's a lot of fish in the sea, right? And the same thing applies to diecast. So just a little bit of historical, like before, we know Hot Wheels, right? This is the most common Hot Wheels you've
Yes.
ever
True.
seen. like everyone knows.
Agree.
And then these are the more expensive Hot Wheels.
Okay.
This one is around, I think with shipping is around 100 US dollar for this one. So this is the more expensive Hot Wheels. And then now Hot Wheels try to add more details to the car. So something like this. This is like somewhere in between, like the not so expensive one, but you can see more details, like the wheels, and then the details on the back of the car, the tail lights, even the headlights. And then you can see the fitment, it looks better. It looks like a real car. This one looks like a toy, right? But this one looks more like a real car. Yep. And then somewhere in between, we have so many competitors here. Like I bring a few brands, some of these are actually cheaper than Hot Wheels, but have more details than Hot Wheels.
Why would you think that be?
I think it's because the production cost is getting cheaper. They just want to make more detailed cars with cheaper price, so they can win the market. Yeah, so I think.
Can you show us the difference between the not so detailed and then the more detailed one? Can you show us here?
Oh, okay.
A little bit.
Like this
like
is
that
the,
one.
This
one
is
is
the
the
not
real
so detailed.
basic one, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
the real basic one. But if, for example, you see this one, you can see the engine.
Like the paintings,
right?
like the engine.
The engine is good, and then you can see the interior. You can see like the roll bars and everything.
Yes,
looks like detail.
Right.
So the difficulty of custom diecast is actually that you got to fight with the factory production, which is cheaper. Which is cheaper because for custom, this guy building this took his time around 2 weeks or 3 weeks, while in the factory you can create once in, I don't know, minutes.
Just a few minutes.
Yeah, just a few minutes. So I think that's the main thing. But some people just love the custom because there's only one, just for you. Yeah. But because there is so many fish in the sea, you can see so many brands. These are actually different brands. But if you look at it, can you tell the difference? I mean, they're all good, right?
Yeah.
If you asked me, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, they're all like very good quality, but they have different
Sorry.
prices. Like for example, this one, the price is about 3 times the price of other cars in here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you give numbers?
That one is around 90 US dollar. Around 90. Well, this is around 30. Yeah. So roughly about
You see the
that
stereo on the
price.
back seat too on this one.
Yeah, and then some of the more detailed one is actually not die-cast, so it's made from resin.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, not made from metal.
Metal,
Because
right.
metal is difficult to create the exquisite details. So
Right.
sometimes they just
to bend it over and stuff like that.
yeah. So
But okay, so what technological advances or design innovations have had the most impact on diecast manufacturing? As you were saying, you were comparing the factory made with the handmade and custom made and stuff.
yeah, so actually we, the customizer or the diecast builder, we're trying to replicate the real car so much. We're trying to replicate.
Of course.
Yeah, but because the difficulties is that we use manual tools, like we use those small
Pliers.
small pliers,
Right.
and then sometimes our eyes is not that good. We can't get into that much detail.
right.
So of course, if you compare it to factory made, sometimes factory made is better. But I always say that if you're trying to look at technological advances, probably is the manufacturing, how they can manufacture a very detailed, for example, like metal casting of this car, how they, and then the 3D printers. 3D printers. Now the design, I think the design department, they work so much because, for example, if you want to build the detail of this engine, this very detailed, you can imagine, like, of course, there's a graphic designer, right? They
Right.
need to design it in such
Exactly.
an awesome way, so it'll look good, for example, and then you have to manufacture it in a factory. So I think it's kind of like the graphic designer, and then the tools they use to print this stuff, and even the paint and everything is exquisite. It's really good.
True.
Yeah,
So yep, so much improvement, I think, actually. Yep, for this kind of.
Speaking of improvement and speaking of, again, I think there's a lot of parts that go into making just one diecast model.
Yes.
Now, what do you think is the popularity of diecast, let's say right now, cars in the past, let's say ever since you started collecting these in about 4 years ago?
Yeah.
And how have they contributed into basically the whole business, the whole economy too?
Yeah. So I think Hot Wheels, they have a factory in Indonesia. Have a factory. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's actually good. You know, like we have a Hot Wheels factory in
have
Indonesia.
one.
We have one.
Okay.
So not all Hot Wheels are imported. We have a factory
Okay.
here as well.
Okay.
And then we have so many brands trying to sell their stuff to Indonesia, because
okay.
Indonesian people likes to buy, right?
Yeah.
We like
Oh
to buy.
yeah, tell us about it after
Yeah,
12,
yeah.
12. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we like to buy. And then eventually it became a good business, because sometimes
Right.
people like buying and selling, but sometimes they don't have respect for the art, you know, like sometimes they just want to buy what's the price is good.
Yeah.
They just want to buy what the price will increase, for example.
Okay.
Yeah, but then
The economic value of it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
okay.
that's why I only do custom diecasts, because I think it's more fun, because I like the art and I like to help the builder. Yeah,
Right,
but,
right.
but some people, they only think about the economical value.
Now that's deep too, actually. You don't really just go and buy stuff, Hans. You really have to go and kind of swim with the fishes and then look for the best ones, right?
Well, talking about being an art enthusiast, this is actually art.
Yes.
You have to,
there you go.
respect the
The side of it too,
craftsmanship of making a diecast.
All right, guys. Well, we are not done yet, so you might want to stick around, because we're going to take a quick break and continue, because we still have more to talk about with Dion here, our doctor, but also very, very enthusiast of diecast. Stay tuned.